So I do want to go over this real quick. I know on my channel, we have not been talking much about collecting Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. It's kind of my fault. Now, there is this article that goes over the most expensive and rarest Yu-Gi-Oh cards that most people don't know about. Because most people know of like LOB Blue Eyes, Shonen Jump prize cards. Speaking of Shonen Jump prize cards, I brought them out of the vault just for the video. Gotta flex a little bit. But there are many incredibly rare Yu-Gi-Oh cards in the OCG that almost no one knows. So there is this forum, E4, that's mostly about Pokemon cards. It was started by SM Pratt and some other people. SM Pratt is like a content creator and collector within Pokemon. Now, I don't always agree with like his content, but he does have like very interesting insights on a lot of stuff. There's essentially this thread by Papa Frank God going over, you know, some of these incredibly rare cards. So I wanted to go over that. So, Papa Frank God, hello all. I've been an all-time Yu-Gi-Oh collector in the past, mainly focused into old OCG trophy cards and some new ones. I know many of you here also collect Yu-Gi-Oh. Again, this is a Pokemon forum as a side project, so let me share a guide I made long ago. Side project? Bitch, please. It's no side project. This is the main project. This is the main show, Yu-Gi-Oh collecting. Thank you very much. So let's go over this. Limited trophy and rare cards. So they go over like the amount released and then also when and so forth. So first of all, you have Bandai. You have these promos. Again, some of you may know the Mirror Force. Like Mirror Force only had 1,000 officially released ones. Swords of Revealing Light, 1,000 officially released ones. Gate Guardian, 7,000 officially released ones. These cards are ridiculously expensive. I don't recall like the last time they were sold, but at the peak hype in like 2021, you would see many of these cards for like multiple four figures. Now later on in here, you will see much higher prices than that. The issue with OCG, however, is that a lot of deals happen in like backroom doors, like behind backroom doors, or it's like you give an offer of like $1 million or whatever, and then they go, no, I want 10 million, and then you gotta believe them on their word that that happened. But then some deals do happen. Like a given card did sell for 350,000 there. So like it's a completely different world from TCG. It's pretty crazy. So Duel Monsters National Tournament. A lot of people know this one. You have the Blackluster Soldier, and the official number is that only one was released. And so whenever you have like these Watch Mojo articles, you have them going like, and this is the most expensive, rarest card, said to be blah, blah, blah. And so when people talk about Yu-Gi-Oh collecting, they just assume, oh yeah, there's this Blackluster Soldier that's worth so much, and they don't even think about anything else because that's the one thing Watch Mojo talked about. So that's kind of annoying, but then we have the Zera the Mant, we have Super War Lion, Friends Mirror, and then Canon the Sword Mistress had 400 as an estimated number. So then we have Starter Box theatrical release, we have Aquamadur, Trial of Nightmare, 13th Grave, Darking of the Abyss, and Turtle Tiger, all said to have 5,000 copies. Now 5,000 is a huge number. You have to remember that stuff over time has obviously like died, has been destroyed. Also very hard to get stuff from there to over here. So while 5,000 is high, it's also still pretty rare. But yeah, then we have Jump Special Present Set. We have Trial of Nightmare, Canon, and the 13th Grave, 50. Official numbers, that's pretty low. I've never seen these cards in my life. V Jump Special Present, Turtle Tiger 50, Celtic Guardian 50, Darking of the Abyss 50. Again, never seen these in my life. I like how they have the anime stats. You know, the anime has like these huge attack and defense boxes right here in this way. God, that's really cool. That's really iconic. Then we have Duel Monsters Dark Duel Stories promotional cards. I don't know how this worked in Japan. So Perfect Ultimate Great Mod, limited but unknown amount, and Seiyaru Ultimate unknown amount. I know these also had their English releases, and there they are like super common. Aquamadur 4,000, again not the rarest but still pretty cool. Then we have Dark Duel Stories, these like fancy cards, limited but unknown amount. I'm not sure how limited. We have some more of these with like limited numbers, but again 40,000 isn't very limited. Like there should be plenty of these out there. God, some of these arts you had in the games back in the day. Like I remember this one being in a given game. Then we have Dark Magician Girl. Now this one is really interesting. You had 400 of the secret and you had 2,800 of the rare of this Dark Magician Girl. And as far as I'm aware, there's a secret PSA 10 that moved hands for around $90,000. On my channel, I actually interviewed the person, strictly sealed, who had this. So if you want to check that out, somewhere on my channel, I have a video where we talk about this card. Yeah, PSA 10. It was like partial trade, partial cash or something along those lines. 90 fucking thousand. Next, second national tournament. So these are pretty interesting. These have like these faces on them, and as far as I'm aware, these were like from the actual people. So we have Masahiro the Dark Clown, 1, and then 4 to 6 spare copies without trophy. We have the Skull Knight, 1 official number, and then a couple spare copies. And then we have Tomohiro the Mountain Warrior, 1, and then a couple spare copies. I actually saw this left one for sale a while ago, I believe, last year at some point. I didn't end up following it. I should have probably like talked about it because it was pretty interesting. Because normally you don't see Yu-Gi-Oh cards where you have actual people like faces in there. Next, we have this. Now, these are again like next level stuff. The Asia Championship from 2001. We have the Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. There's only one in existence. Yeah. Plus a spare copy without the trophy. I believe, and we'll scroll about that later, that this was like had moved hands for 350,000, but it was the replica one. Again, we can get into that later, but like that's nuts. Then we have Summon Skull at 1, Karibo at 1, Gemini Elf at 1, and Red Eyes Black Dragon at 1. And then the spare copies and so forth. Destroyed an Earthquake? What the hell? Is it destroyed an Earthquake? That's crazy. Then we have the Weekless Shonen Jump, 1,000 of Blue Eyes and Dark Magician, the promos. And of course here he's called actually Black Magician, but that was then later taken out. Next you have the Chinese versions. Alright. Then we have Jump Festa. I actually know someone who owns this thing. So there were only about 3,000 given out, but these had like so many issues with their edges and silvering and so forth that most of them are completely banged up and destroyed. It's very hard to have high grade copies, and even like lower grade copies have sold for 10 not 10 figures. Holy shit, imagine 10 figures. 5 figures. So incredibly rare for sure. A lot of people consider the Festa Blue Eyes the Holy Grail because it is the actual anime art and it is incredibly rare. It is incredibly like old, price card and so forth. Like it has everything going for it. Though you could argue 3,000 is still pretty high. But yeah, I mean, debate that all you want. Then we have Dual Art Campaign, Holakti, the Creator of Light, 10,000 official number? That doesn't seem right. Then we have the World Championship cards, entry to the Japanese National Championship plus Dragon Duel World Championship, 2003. We have Canon, the Sword Mistress, 1,600 estimated number. We have a Victory Dragon. Where is he? Where is Victory Dragon? 1-2, no evidence of it being awarded at the event. I actually didn't know that. Blackluster Soldier, 1-2, estimated number, no evidence of it being awarded at the event. Again, no clue about that. And then we have these prize cards. We have Ulevo that most of us know. Sengenjin, Meteo, the Matchless. These are like match winners. If you know or don't know, like there's a bunch of World's Prize cards where they say like if he deals the damage, you automatically win the entire match rather than the game. So like you deal the lethal damage in game 1, that's it. Now, obviously, these aren't tournament legal, but it's a cool little bit of, you know, extra flair, let's say. King of Destruction, Xenex, Queen of Fate, Eternia, Firewing, Pegasus. That's another type of deal, though. But these are both match winners. You also notice what's really weird is, like, your release numbers are often different. And you've also had years where you had, like, some of these World's Prize cards, and then you had some somehow going out without being in trophies, and from employees and like really sketch stuff. So you often have these like unofficial World's Trophy cards. And now some people argue like, are these considered real cards because they technically were never really released, or are they not? Personally, I don't care. I really don't. Some people want to argue all day. Go ahead. It's not my deal. I don't work at PSA. I don't decide whether PSA needs to grade these because they're fake or not fake. Again, go right off. And we have Testament of the Arcane Lords, Armament of the Lethal Lords. Again, these are prize cards. But then Seiaryu, I'm not sure why like these are not even in the same league of card. Oh, whatever. Then we had Get Your Game On. This was like a cool little promo thing. We had the Chimera, the Master of Beasts, Emperor of Lightning. So 2, 6, and 400 for Testament of the Arcane Lord. Tyr, the Vanquishing Warlord. 2, Lorelei, the Symphonic Arsenal. 6, and then Chimera, the Master of Beasts. 800 to 3,000, but that is for the replica. So when they say replica, it's kind of like a different thing. You'll see that very often. Like you'll see a World's Prize card, and then it'll also have the replica version, and those were given out at a completely different way. So they're not even in the same league of price. Like, you could get some of these replicas for like a couple hundred, whereas you'd pay like 15,000 or way more for some of these actual World's Prize cards. Then we have Agiba 2, Skuna 6, and Tyr the Vanquishing Warlord, again like the 400. We have Stardust Divinity, again match winner. Agiba 400, and then Grizzly the Red Star Beast 6, and then Agiba. My biggest concern with these prize cards, like, people sell these for actual real, like, insane amounts of money, right? Like, the match winners, 5 figures easily, usually many 5 figures, but it's like, what kid actually grew up on these cards? And it's like 0. Obviously, there is history for the game, and that's a big deal. In 40 years, who will buy these and think like, oh, this is like such a part of my childhood, you know? Stardust Divinity. It's like, I don't know, but still a huge grail, obviously, because there's only 2, right? Plus some spare uncased copies. Then we have King Landia the Gold Fang, Queen Nerea the Silver Crown, and then we have Stardust Divinity for the replica. 50 is the official number. Now these I actually love. But then you had like a billion replicas of this. Legendary Dragon of White and Legendary Magician of the Ark. While these are like prize cards that technically no one grew up on, they are like winks to, you know, the originals, to Blue Eyes and Dark Magician. So I do like that. I think if I had to bet on a prize card, the originals of these would be it. Then we have a Grand Opolis, the Eternal Golden City, and also the E-Hero Pit Boss. So this is also a really cool one. However, the Pit Boss, I don't know how or why, but I've seen the uncased copies of this so many times. I think this spare copy number is completely wrong. I don't know the history again, but I've seen like some shady shit of like employees or whatever. I don't know the specifics. I don't know. I've seen more than 2 to 4 like moving hands and people talking about it and show it and posting and so forth. So I don't know what's up with that. Then we have Legendary Dragon of White. 150 is the estimated number for the replica again. So more prize cards. Twin Kings, Leonardo's Silver Skyship, and the Grandopolis replica. Again, I'm not sure why they ordered it in this way. Maybe it made more sense in an other format or something. I don't know. Then we have some Pendulum prize cards. Kuzunoha and so forth. I'm kind of like, oh, this is actually pretty interesting. Shelga the Warlord. We saw this being sold by Robbie Cole 2 years ago or 2 years ago. Yeah, not last year, 2 years ago. For I want to say like 18,000 or something along those lines in the trophy. So like the actual version that we only had 6 copies of. So I assume he made some nice profit on that, but it might be worth way more now. That was right before like all the hype with Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon collecting and so forth. Might have lost money in the sense that the buyer might have a card that's now like 30 or 40,000 or something along those lines. Again, I've seen some of these be a bit higher now than what they were before all the hype. Really cool, though. Again, it's hard to say like how connected are collectors to these cards when all they have is that rarity. Again, they have the rarity above all else. Like LOB Blue Eyes, there's enough out there for everyone. Not in great condition necessarily, but there's enough out there. For this, you can't really say that. Alright, next we have Sanctity of Dragon, Iron Knight of Revolution, the Ghost Rare Dark Magician Girl, 2,500 is the official number. Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon and Monster Reborn. And now we get to YCS prize cards. These estimated numbers are completely wrong. Unless, oh, he's talking about the Ultras. Never mind, he's right. I was like 12 to 25? Nah, but yeah, the Supers are much less rare. The Ultras, we have the Dark Lord Asmodeus, we have the Dark Lord Superbia. People who have been watching my stream know that me and Superbia, we go back in a negative way. we have some of these right here. Obviously, if you look at this list of YCS prize cards, what do you instantly see? You see Minerva. Baby. Holy shit. What a beautiful card. That's actually a card I would love to own. What a cool card. But yeah, all of these are YCS prize cards. You basically had to get, I believe, first place to get the Ultra, and then second and third got the Super, something along those lines. She is 13 solemn. I didn't say anything sexual. I said I wanted to own the card, and I don't know her age. But the owl is cute as hell. But again, it's a card. So next we have the Supers. Again, everyone like has access to the Supers. Not everyone. Obviously, they're still like very expensive, but they're nowhere near as rare as their Ultra counterparts. Especially because I believe the Supers were also given out with other stuff sometimes. We have Shonen Jump Championship prize cards. These we actually know a fair bit more of because they have more history on the west side, you know, like a lot of the earlier prize cards we saw, like Kanan and so forth, are all OCG, so it's usually like not people from the west that have a real connection to them. But if you played competitive Yu-Gi-Oh back in the day, these prize cards are like, oh, these are your babies. So you have Cyberstein. The estimated number is 150. Most people would fight and say that 150 is maybe wrong. It's possible that, you know, a few more were sneaked out by either an employee or some upper deck shenanigans, or maybe at some upper deck day. You know, some people might say it's 250 or whatever. People will argue, still it's a rare card, obviously. You don't see these for sale every day. Right now, the market isn't as hot anymore, so there will usually be like 1 or 2 maybe on eBay. The pop, if you go to PSA's website, is still plenty low, and you're not gonna find it in a fucking set. Let me go into my face cam, and look what I got out of the bank vault. Right here. What a pretty boy. A Shonen Jump Championship prize card. PSA 9. Minty. A minty copy of this incredible card. I'm not sure what the price is right now. I would say between 10 and 15,000 would be correct. I think they peaked around 18,000. Now they're down a little bit from that high, but they're still pretty high. Solemn the flex, that's right. Better than Bitcoin. Yeah, they've held up better than Bitcoin. You know, if you want to invest in alternative assets, Yu-Gi-Oh cards have held stronger than Bitcoin. So far. We'll see how that plays out in the future, of course, but so far. So this was the very first prize card in the Shonen Jump series. And of course, also because when it was first released, there were only 2 copies given out, and then after that you had some more and so forth. Obviously, it was also broken as hell, because you could do some OTK, FTK, not FTK, OTK bullshit and so forth. Even now, it's still limited because of how powerful it was. Back to the reacts, of course. Then we have Dest Volstgalf, summon Ultimate Dragon and equipped with Megamorph, that's right. Cyberstein obviously also had that whole thing because it had the emergency banning or whatever going on. It was a powerful, insane card. Dest Volstgalf, not so much. It wasn't the highest impact meta card. Shrink also, you know, questionable. I watched the video when you sold the Crush Card Virus on YouTube. I never sold a Crush Card Virus. I did indeed do a video on YouTube where I showed off someone else selling their Crush Card for 80,000. Basically, I was the common ground. People knew that I wouldn't do sketchy stuff because I'm on YouTube with like X number of people following me. So they trusted me enough to go like, okay, you will be like the common neutral ground. We know one guy won't grab a gun and try to take it from the other guy and vice versa. You know, there can't be any weird stuff because I was there and it was my location and so forth. So again, we were at Shrink. Speaking of, we have our Crush Card Virus. So the estimated number was 63. It's basically the rarest Shonen Jump prize card. It is also the most controversial one. At the time it was released, it broke the game. It was just too damn fucking overpowered. And so by getting this prize card, a card that wasn't in any other booster boxes, you started auto-winning games simply because you had won before or had enough money to buy this from a champion from another location. If you weren't playing Crush Card, you were losing. And if you had Crush Card, it was because you had money or you were already winning. So this card was just utter bullshit. There was no way from a competitive card game standpoint that thing should have existed. Later on, much later on, it was reprinted in the Gold series, and even then it was super expensive because they short printed it like to heck. But that makes that card super special. Beyond that, of course, everyone who watched the anime back in the day knows Kaiba abused the living shit out of this against Yugi and then failed to abuse it against Pegasus. So it has the anime aspect for the nostalgia. It has the competitive bullshit aspect for, you know, all the players. And then it also has the rarity for collecting side, for the investing side, the appreciation side. You can't have the market being overrun with a billion copies of this. And so there are only a few out there. I think currently in PSA 10, there are like 5 copies or so. I don't know, something around that. Maybe 5 PSA 10 copies. And in total graded copies, I don't know how many. I would have to check. 20 max? There's really almost none out there because, again, the estimated number that was given out is 63. There can't be more than 63 on the planet of this thing. It was unbanned, but they errated it to shit. So it's no longer actually good. So speaking of Crush Card, time to flex, of course, and show off this baby, of course. Oh. We have the Crush Card Virus. Oh, I love this card. This card I love more than the Stein. Like, if you were telling me to sell something, I would sell the Stein. I would not sell the Crush Card. Yeah, this is only a 5. A PSA 5. Like, it doesn't really matter. When you start talking about cards of this caliber, where there's only 63 total, and most of them look worse than this one. Like, the only thing wrong with this one, by the way, is a binder ding. And PSA really, like, nukes you hard for surface damage. But if not for that, like, the corners and everything, like, look at, you probably can't see it, but this card is, like, minty AF beyond that ding. But at that point, I didn't care. Like, they sold this, I wanted this. I wanted this. Just personal collection, just fuck it. I need to have this card. Super ridiculously rare. Going back to the vault at the bank soon though, because like I can't have this on me. The last offer I received on this card was 17,000. The crush card that was being sold on my channel, like by someone else, but the video on my channel was a PSA 10. This is a PSA 5. So like the 10 is way more expensive. I wish I had a 10, but this is merely the 5. At one point, I guess I've held both 2 crush cards of the population, just like that. Those are the only Shonen Jump prize cards I own. I do not own the other ones. Another really cool one, in my opinion, is the Gold Sarcophagus. 93, a bit of a higher number, but it also has that anime power to it, you know. The only ones on this list are really Crush Card and Gold Sarc that have the anime power, and then the only 2 that have the player significance, let's say, is the Cyber Sign and the Crush Card Virus. Those are like for players also iconic and also having like game impact, right? Like both, all 3, Cyber Sign, Crush Card, and Gold Sarc were good in the game as well. But 2 of them were like ridiculous, instant, needs to be hit or banned or whatever the hell. Then we have Doom Caliber Knight and then Dark End Dragon. Dark End Dragon was the last Shonen Jump prize card. I actually did own one at one point. I bought it raw and then graded it. It got a 9. In my opinion, could have probably gotten a 10. And then I sold it because I didn't want to hold it for too long. I wasn't like that in love with the card either, like the Crush card. Jump Novel Telephone. I've never seen this thing in my life. I have no idea what this is, but the official amount that's out there is 100. Weird. Imagine working a minimum wage 9 to 5 and you're printing a 70,000 card. That blows my mind. But see, the thing is, going back to the Crush card, at the time that these were printed, they weren't 70,000. It's only because they have that rich history and being destroyed over time because people played with them and didn't know, you know, that Yu-Gi-Oh would grow out to be this massive thing, that they became worth that much. Like, at the time that Crush Card Virus Shonen Jump prize card was printed, it was maybe $2,000. And again, that's quite a lot, but it's not 70 or 80,000, you know? It's only later the appreciation and the whole collector space. And again, the fact that it was preserved in its original condition that made it so special, because while the print was 63, the eventual pop of PSA 10 is again like what, 5 now or so, something in that ballpark. So less than 10% actually made it out alive. Tyler the Great Warrior, yeah, so this one everyone knows, right? Everyone knows this prize card. I'm kind of annoyed at how everyone knows this one and only talks about this one and never anything else. Because obviously the story is like really awesome, really powerful, really cool that they did that. It has like rich lore behind it. And again, Watch Mojo articles can talk about this one and the Blackluster Soldier all the time. But then the other whole like dimension of the collecting space is kind of lost when you only get the clickbaity, this is worth whatever the hell this one person says it is, types of cards just lambasted over and over again. But again, awesome card, you know, no one else will ever own this. I think the original owner actually has gotten ridiculously high offers and has never sold it. For, you know, good reason, though it could be life-changing money. So that was the article. Pretty cool in my opinion. You need to buy the cards first and then make a hype video about them. That's right. Pump and dump, baby. Yeah, and then we have a bunch in. If you want to see like more, if you want to read all that, enjoy. But overall, really cool article. I think it taught a lot of people, you know, at least the basics on the OCG. Because again, a lot of this is like, you need to get those numbers from Japanese sources and barely anyone bothers to translate it. So shout out to Papa Frank God. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you soon. Ciao.